And hi, everyone. Looks like a really exciting agenda today, and it's a pleasure to be here for the Automotive and Manufacturing Customer Meetup. So I'm Bill Foy, and I have the pleasure of working at AWS for the last 4.5 years, and I lead the Solutions and Go-to-Market team in the Automotive and Manufacturing business unit, where I get to work with my team and thousands of customers around the world and identify the most important areas for our customers to solve their problems, to reduce costs, improve speed, and innovate. And then prior to coming to AWS, I was in the automotive industry for a little under 30 years, with 2 decades at an automotive supplier and the rest at an OEM. And if you could go to the next slide. So my team, as well as a few other teams that we work with, are focused to these 9 main areas that are very distinct. When I came in, most of AWS was working with the IT organization. We have now formed a team over the last 2.5, 3 years that's focused purely to the line of business, to work with customers and partners in areas like you see on the screen, like software-defined vehicle or connected mobility, digital customer engagement or experience, autonomous vehicle development, and then the other side, you see product engineering, manufacturing, supply chain, sustainability, and EV. The 9th area is in the center, which is data. And for the last 2 years, we've been working with customers and recognize that we have been working within their silos, and we have been working within our own silos to bring great value in each of these areas. But I think there's a real big opportunity to unlock much greater value. If you go to the next slide, and you can just build that out as I talk. But today I want to introduce you to our customer and product journey transformation. There's a connection between the lines of business as Mohan's building this out. And when you can really get to a truly connected enterprise, we're finding that we can provide even much greater value, not only within the functions, but between the functions. And the opportunity is to be able to solve much bigger problems. So whether it's an automotive company looking to solve warranty issues, or looking to create the ideal product configuration needed for a local market, or ultimately, as we look, everything's going to become software defined, whether it's a vehicle or a vacuum or a dishwasher. This is definitely the era of software defined and generative AI. So we feel that as we begin to look at this customer and product journey, we can unlock new services as well. If you go to the next slide, it just really focuses to the customer journey. So this is where we're looking at the end customer, and we're looking together areas such as, for example, I'll go automotive again, connected mobility data, digital customer experience, and EV. And the goal is to reduce the friction for customers in areas, for example, like EV charging, or perhaps based on the way a person drives and what they drive today, what the next vehicle purchase or lease should be, or how to automatically create service appointments, as well as creating like the full buying experience of the vehicle. And you'll see some of that later in one of the presentations too, as far as like being able to virtualize the vehicle and view it. If you go to the next slide, I think product journey, I think, is probably the more heavy lift for companies to imagine. In silos, as I mentioned, we've been able to like achieve really great results. So reducing product development costs by 20%, or software development costs by 20%, autonomous costs by 50%, inventory costs by 15%, and et cetera. I could keep going on. However, when you can pull together all of these disparate systems that exist within the enterprise, like the planning systems, the product lifecycle management, application lifecycle management, the manufacturing execution system, or the CAD CAE systems, you can create the digital thread of the enterprise to truly reduce even further development costs, time to market. So for example, we expect that the work that we're doing will reduce an additional 20% for overall time to market cost, reduce warranty costs by 20%, and ultimately improve profits. So we're working with customers in these areas to create true transformations. And then in one of the most important areas for many of the companies we work with, because they're manufacturing a product, is the manufacturing area. So today I also wanted to use this opportunity, since I had the opportunity to attend Hannover Messe last month. I wanted to show some of the highlights from that. So Hannover Messe, we had about 130,000 people who were at that event, with over 4,000 exhibitors and from all over the place. And although I didn't get a lot of time because I was really in that busy booth that you see a picture of there, when I did walk around, and from what I heard from others, there was like three main themes. The first one is artificial intelligence, but specifically generative AI. You could see generative AI everywhere. So even in our booth, it was at each exhibit how Gen AI is changing the different areas. The second one was around digitization. So as we think about software-defined automation, so into the manufacturing space or industrial edge, this digitization was really coming to life in the different exhibits that I've seen throughout the Hannover Messe. And the last one is around sustainability and circular economy. I put that one third because it was, I could see it, but it wasn't as prevalent like these first two. I could see in almost every booth. But let me introduce you a bit to the AWS booth on the next slide. So AWS booth, we organized it so really like that very right-hand picture, you could see like the data lake is in the center. And then that's feeding into some distinct areas in our booth that are laid out for product engineering, supply chain, manufacturing, and sustainability. We exhibited 13 AWS kiosks to show some products, and I'll show you one of those in a minute, which is the new smart manufacturing demo. And then additionally, what's really important for us is that we work and we scale with partners. So we had over 35 partner kiosks in that booth. And then we had the in-booth theater that I'll talk about in a minute as well. You can go to the next slide. So I think one of the really important things is to make things real for companies to see. So what we did this year is we developed out this new smart manufacturing demo. And what I liked about our booth is when you walked into it, other than the smell, you could really feel like a manufacturing environment with all the displays and what we were doing here. This one, we were showing an e-bike being made, and we integrated many of our different services with the industrial equipment, with machine learning and real-time data analytics. So you can see a list of our services that we use there, but additionally, we brought in, I think, 11 different partners to show how we integrate with partners in this space. And this is a display that we're going to have available at different facilities within AWS. Hopefully it ends up in one of our executive briefing centers because I think it was really impressive. Next slide. So I mentioned partners, and I wanted to show the 35 different partners. And if you go to the next slide, and I'm not going to go through these next 4 slides, but I'll just set it up for you. In the material that you'll get, each one of those partners had one or several different presentations in the theater that we recorded. And this is just the agenda for day 1 through day 4. And in each one of these areas, we were able to really allow our partners, and many times ourselves too, to go deep in specific areas. So looking, for example, improving reliability in the production line, and how does Hitachi do that, for example, or Siemens unlocking the scalable and cost-effective battery production. Each one of these are rich in content, and I think they would be valuable for you to be able to see. And so we'll send out a link to that as well. It'll be a YouTube channel similar to what Mohan mentioned earlier. Before I move to the next speaker, are there any questions? I don't think it looks like it, right? All right, so I want to just thank you for your time first.